Can you all hear me all right over at the jail? Speakers are off. All right. Good morning. Can you hear me over there all right? I'm having a tough time hearing you.
Yes, Judge, we can hear.
Good morning, Mr. Romero. It's
Good
so
morning,
good to
sir.
see you, sir. It's been a while.
Yes, Judge, but we can hear you perfectly.
Everybody, are we ready to start at the jail?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Okay, great. So let me go ahead and introduce myself, and we're going to get going. I'm Judge Schiff. I'm usually at the North Regional Courthouse in Deerfield Beach. This is my 23rd year as a county court judge here in Broward County. We're going to go slow this morning. We're going to take each case one at a time. Today is not your trial day. For the purposes of this morning's hearing, the Office of the Public Defender has been appointed to represent you, unless you don't want them or if you have your own private counsel. Today's is a probable cause hearing. I got in this morning around 7 o'clock. I've read through the probable cause affidavits to determine whether or not there was probable cause that you should have been arrested. If the court finds that there is probable cause, then the next thing that the court will do is set a bond amount. After we set the bond amount, that'll be the end. There may be a couple of cases in which I'll offer pleas, but those are only in either municipal ordinance matters or in misdemeanor matters, all right? Anything that I need to know from the state? Your state's good?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is good?
All good.
All right, anybody else before we get going? Confinement status, clerks, we're all good to go? All right, here we go then. Kimberly Mayer, please.
Medical reset.
Okay. Thank you. Denise Pineda.
Judge, I've been informed she bonded.
Thank you. Ashley Klinghammer, please. Good morning, Ms.
She's here
Klinghammer.
present, Judge, at Maine.
Thank you. The court's reviewed the probable cause affidavit, finds probable cause exists. One count, petty theft, second count, trespass. Bond is set at $100 on the petty theft and $100 on the trespass, and I wish you well.
Judge, and speaking Ms. Klinghammer, she wishes to ask the court if the court would consider resolving these two misdemeanor offenses today.
Not without some background information. State, do you have it?
Your Honor, I see that, from what I can tell, Ms. Klinghammer has no criminal history.
No criminal history?
Judge,
So would she be
consider-
eligible, so let's go slow. Would she be eligible then for a diversion program without a criminal history?
I would think so. The only issue, Your Honor, she's gone through a diversion program twice before in Palm Beach County. I don't know if what impact that would have or not.
This would be a Judge Hurley case. This I can do for you. Ms. Klinghammer, if you want, because it's your first offense, I'll allow you to leave on your own recognizance. And this case will be set probably at the North Courthouse. I think right North Lauderdale is North Judge Hurley's division. You come up and you speak to Judge Hurley, and I'm sure he'll make an offer for you on the case. You want to do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes? ROR on both counts. Thank you. Good luck to you. Next, please, is Rebecca Ann Crow.
I believe she's in Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan, thank you. And there's the sign for Paul Ryan. Ms. Crow? Hi, good morning, Deputy.
She's not here yet, Judge.
All right, you let me know when she gets there, and we'll call you again, okay? Tamika Gordon, please. Anybody know where Miss Gordon is? Main jail?
Yes, Judge, she's approaching.
Thank you. Good morning, Miss Gordon.
Good morning.
The court's reviewed the probable cause affidavit. The court finds probable cause as follows: battery on a law enforcement officer, drug paraphernalia possession, resisting an officer with violence, and resisting an officer without violence. Bond is set as follows: $1,000 count one, $100 count two, $500 count three, and $100 on count four. I wish you well, ma'am. Thank you for coming. All right. Next up, Esme Maldonado.
North Broward, Judge.
Thank you. Good morning.
Can't hear you, Deputy.
Good morning, North Broward.
Good
How
morning,
are you?
Judge. He's in medical reset.
Medical reset, okay.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Next, please, Kanir Thompson.
One moment, Judge, I'm trying to locate him right now.
Okay.
Page 4. First one on top. Judge, he's on his way. Brief recall.
Let me know when he's there.
Thank you, Judge.
Junie George.
Mr. George is approaching municipal ordinance cases, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. George. How are you?
I'm all right.
So you have 4 municipal ordinance matters. They've all occurred this year, basically trespass or drugs or alcohol.
I'd like to resolve the case, Your Honor.
Understand that resolving the case may mean that you don't go home today. Do you understand that?
Huh?
Do you understand that by resolving your case today does not automatically mean that you will be leaving today?
I can't hear you.
Well, I'll say it again. Let me see if I can get it a little louder. If we can try to eliminate some of the noise over there. All right, it may be on from another jail, one of the other jails. Let me see something. If we can shut down the microphones for a moment so the gentleman can hear me, that would be great. All right, so Mr. George, you've indicated you want to resolve your cases today, which is fine. I'm just letting you know that a resolution of your cases today does not necessarily mean that you'll be going home today. You understand that?
If you resolve it.
One more time, sir.
One night we'll be going home if you resolve the case today.
Based upon this, you're looking at 30 days Broward County Jail with credit for time served.
30 days?
Yes, sir. These are different matters, and I read the probable cause affidavit. It looks like the officer didn't arrest you, but might have even had probable cause to arrest you then, but just took you in on the outstanding warrant. So the offer is 30 days with credit for time served, or you can go ahead and post the bonds, which total $600. Bonds are set at $600. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. Isaac Stewart, please.
Mr. Stewart is approaching, Judge. He's here at me.
Good morning, Mr. Stewart. Let's see, this is a case out of North. You didn't want to visit me at North, so now you get to visit me here, huh?
I tried to, but I wasn't in town, man.
You weren't in town. Well, so if I released you on your own recognizance, will you come back and visit me at the North Courthouse when you get your next notice?
Yeah, yes, sir.
ROR, stay out of trouble. See you in a few weeks.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Oh, Judge, the gentleman that was on page, that was on recall, Mr. Thompson, is here present
Hi,
at
Mr.
me.
Thompson. Good morning. This
How
is
you doing?
I'm good, Mr. Thompson. This is an ad charge on a criminal mischief matter that allegedly happened while you were incarcerated. Bond is set at $25 on that count, and I wish you well, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Over at Paul Ryan, is Miss Crow ready? No? Okay, we'll continue on then. Next up is Alvarado Martinez, please.
Mr. Martinez is here at
Hi,
me,
good
Judge. He
morning.
is approaching.
What's that? Is the door unlocked? I don't know. We'll see. There. If it's not, it is now. People have been walking in and out all morning, so I would assume that it was. Okay. All right, so Mr. Martinez, good morning. Court reviewed the probable cause affidavit. Court finds probable cause as follows, sir. Count 1, DUI. Count 2, DUI with damage to property. Count 3, DUI with a blood alcohol above a 1.5, and count 4, not for magistrate. Bond is set as follows: $500, $1,000, and $1,000, $2,500 altogether. And I wish you well, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. I'll contact your mom after court.
Gerald Gaines.
Mr. Gaines is approaching, Judge. It's municipal ordinance cases.
Right.
Mr. Michael Rich.
Good morning, Mr. Gaines.
How you doing? How you doing?
Okay. Mr. Gaines, how are you?
I'm all right. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, sir. These are two old cases. You want to resolve, you want to postpone or resolve them for time served?
I resolved with time served.
Raise
It
your-
been like it was like 3 years ago they had these warrants though for misdemeanor.
It's not 3 years, it was last year, but it's close
Yeah,
enough.
that's it.
Raise your right hand and we can do this. Do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony you'll give this morning, Mr. Gaines, is true?
Yeah.
All right, now you have two municipal ordinance charges. They are sleeping on the sidewalk, both of them. And how do you plead to those charges? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Not guilty. He ain't give me no warning either. He
All
just
right,
gave me
bond is
like
set at
no
$100 on each. Good luck, sir. Thank you. Bobby Fulmore.
Judge is here at Maine, approaching.
Hi, Mr. Fulmore, how are you?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. The court's reviewed the probable cause affidavit, finds probable cause exists. Count 1 is a trespass and count 2 is a municipal ordinance violation. Bond is set at $100 on count 1 and $25 on count 2, and I thank you for coming in. You have a good day, Mr. Fulmore.
If I may, and speaking Mr. Fulmore, I believe the place that he trespassed was at a gas station. He's asking to see if the state has a plea offer on this case in order to resolve it.
State.
Your Honor, the offer would be 3 days. He was just arrested end of last month for trespassing at the same location.
You want a conviction, or do you want to speak to an attorney and see if you can resolve things differently? The Office of the Public Defender will be appointed to represent you if you want.
Let me ask him, Judge.
We're still waiting on your student?
Well, you have a few minutes. You might want to go back again and just.
DJJ? Still waiting on your student?
I actually, his mother just called me, because I called her, she called me back and said he's actually in the courthouse, but he's lost.
Okay.
I told him, because he's accustomed to.
That's okay. When he gets here, we'll help him out, sure.
Judge, and speaking of Mr. Fulmore, I did advise him as far as what the state's offer is. I did also advise him he has the right to contest it, where he can fill out paperwork, have a public defender appointed on his case. He'll have his day in court. But knowing that, Judge, he wishes to basically accept the state's offer at this time.
State's offer is 3 days, Broward County Jail, credit time served, and an adjudication of guilt. I'll dismiss count 2 in exchange for the plea if there's no objection. No
No
objection.
objection by the
Municipal ordinance,
defense.
I don't have a plea.
Raise your right hand, Mr. Fulmore. Do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony that you'll give this morning is true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Fulmore. You're charged with 1 count of trespass in the city of Lauderhill, and on March the 10th. And how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
Is anybody forcing you or coercing you to do this?
No, sir.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen, this could affect your immigration status, including deportation? Are you on probation anywhere?
No, sir.
Do you understand that this could add enhancement points if you're charged with a felony?
No, Your Honor.
You don't understand that, or you do understand that?
Do you understand that this could be used against you in the future, knowing
Yes,
that
I
there's
understand
points
that.
in a criminal history
Okay.
sheet?
I understand that.
All right, and you're satisfied with the limited representation that the Public Defender's Office has given to you up to this point?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're basically waiving your right for everything else, other than for their representing you at this plea. Do you
Yes, Judge.
understand that?
Yes.
Thank you. Stipulate to a factual basis, counsel, for the purpose of the plea.
Yes, Judge.
The court finds that Mr. Fulmore is alert, he's intelligent, he understands the nature of his charges, he understands the consequences of his plea. His plea has been freely, has been voluntarily entered. There's a factual basis to support a finding of guilt, and there's been competent counsel. On the first count, adjudicate guilty, 3 days Broward County Jail, credit time served. Count 2 is dismissed. I wish you well, sir. You'll pay court costs and costs of prosecution. Court waives the fine. You'll have 90 days to pay your court costs, and I wish you well, sir. Anything else I can help the gentleman with? Mr. Romero?
That is all, Judge.
Lionel Pratt, please.
I've been informed he bonded, Judge.
Thank you. Rocco Del Sotoro.
Judge, he's approaching. He's here at Maine.
Good morning, sir. You've got an outstanding capias. You have a mental health court status on tomorrow at 8:30. Bond is set at $250, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Judge, is this case in mental health
Well,
court?
it says MH status 312. Is that, am I reading that wrong?
No, if it says MH, I believe that'd be Judge Poll.
Oh, it's Judge Poll tomorrow. Okay, Judge Poll tomorrow at 8:30.
Judge, in speaking to Mr. Del Ciotto, he wishes to see if the state has a plea offer for him on this misdemeanor offense.
One moment, Your Honor, I just want to see if the assigned ASA documented an offer.
Okay.
Your Honor, the documented offer from the assigned ASA is a withholding court costs.
You wish to accept that?
Let the judge know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand if you would, please, sir. Do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony you've given this cause will be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead to the one count of disorderly conduct?
No contest,
You
Your
can put your hand down. Is anybody forcing you or coercing you to do this?
Honor. No, sir.
You understand you're giving up your right to trial, giving up your right to file pre-trial motions. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you taken anything that affects your ability to think clearly or voluntarily?
Not at all.
Are you on probation?
No,
Do you have any felonies that are pending?
no.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, as a result of your plea this morning, could affect your immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor.
And for the purposes of the limited representation, are you satisfied with the Office of the Public Defender?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis for the purpose of the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Court finds that Mr., is it Del Ciotto?
Del Ciotto.
Del Ciotto is alert, he's intelligent, he understands the nature of his charges and the consequences of his plea. His plea has been freely, has been voluntarily entered, and there's been competent counsel to represent him. Withhold court costs, costs of prosecution, you'll have until 90 days out to pay, and I wish you well, sir. If this is the only thing that's holding you up, you'll be able to get going in a
Yes,
couple
Judge.
hours. Thank
Good
you.
luck, sir.
Brian Moore, please.
Mr. Moore is in the Northborough Detention Center, Your Honor. He'd like to resolve this matter this morning.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Does the state have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The
Yep.
documented offers adjudication, credit for time served, court costs, no return to the Abco Market at 56 Northwest Eller Street in Deerfield Beach.
Oh, me.
Is that acceptable to you, sir?
Yes.
Would you raise your
No.
right hand, Mr. Moore, if you can? Do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony you'll give this morning is true? Yes?
The testimony I'm giving it to you.
Okay,
No
so-
return to APCO, you say?
Right, well, let's go through this, okay? So you're charged with one count of trespass, and how do you plead to the one count of trespass? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I say no contest.
Is anybody forcing you to plead no contest?
No, no,
All right, are you on probation?
no,
Do you have any felonies pending?
no.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, as a result of your plea this morning, it could affect your immigration status, including
I'm a
deportation?
Navy vet. I'm a citizen.
Well, thank you very much. Now, available to you if you were honorably discharged would be our Veterans Court. If you're interested, I can release you on your own recognizance, sir, and you can go to Veterans Court. Would you like to do that?
I might want to do that. I said no contest, but I am a vet. And I
Right.
need to go to, I'm going to the VA. I've been in that store all my life. I've never been trespassing there.
Well, why don't we do this? Any objection if I release the gentleman on his own recognizance and send this over to Veterans Court with,
Your Honor, the only thing I would ask, I have no objection to an ROR. I've been advised by the staff in Judge Merrigan's division that cases don't get directly transferred. They can, I have no objection if you want to sign the PD, they can fill out the appropriate paperwork and make sure everything's,
well, then he's going to have to come up. I'm trying to avoid him having to come back up to North. I mean, this would be a Judge Hurley case. Judge Hurley's was also in the Navy. I'm sure he'll work with you and get you into Veterans Court. I'm just trying to
and my thought is, if the,
try to
hypothetically,
shortcut
if
this.
the public defender asked to be appointed and then requested the case be transferred,
All right, let's do that. Does the public defender ask to be appointed?
Yeah, it has to be appointed.
Yes?
Mr. Moore, you sure you don't want to just resolve this
That's
this
up to
morning?
you, Mr. Moore, whatever you want to do.
You're saying I wouldn't leave if I didn't.
You're going to leave
Either
either way.
way.
You're going to leave either way.
Okay, well, I need to get this straight, man, because they have me December 17th as a narcotic charge at ABC. Never happened. They have me as open
Judge, I have
container.
no objection to an
I never had
an
ROR
open
transferring the case
container,
to
habitual open
Judge
container.
Merrigan.
The court grants the Ori Tennis request by the Public Defender's Office to transfer this to Veterans Court. And I wish you well, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ROR. Thank you, sir. Eric Zayas. Good morning, Mr. Zayas.
He's approaching Judge Municipal in this case.
Any objection to time served on this? It's an MO. Raise your right hand. Swear affirm the testimony you'll give today is true? Yes?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to
Yes,
plea
sir.
on the outstanding warrant, sir?
No contest.
Anybody forcing you or coercing you to do this?
No, sir.
Are you on probation?
No, sir.
Any felonies pending?
No,
You
sir.
understand if you're not a citizen, this could affect your immigration status?
Yes,
And
sir.
this is what you'd like to do to resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Withhold. Court costs to be paid in 90 days. That's it, sir. Good luck,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Dennis Carroll, please.
Mr. Carroll, come on up, please. He's here present at Main, Judge. He's approaching.
Thank you. Mr. Carroll, good morning. You have 3 outstanding warrants from Judge Hurley on 3 different cases. Bond set at $1,000 on each count, sir. I'm going to suggest that you retain counsel. If you can't retain counsel, that you ask for the public defender to represent you.
Judge, in
Yes, sir.
speaking to Mr. Carroll, he did advise me he's homeless. From what I could see here, there's 3 capious offenses, so I imagine he didn't receive notice in order to go to court. What I'm going to be asking is,
You're assuming he
considering
didn't
these
get
are all
notice, or are you
candidates-
assuming he didn't show up? Which one? Because it looks like he got notice. All right, all right. There are 3 similar charges: cannabis, cannabis, cannabis.
Correct. Considering they are cannabis, and the times that we're living in, Judge, I'm asking if the state has a plea offer on these cannabis offenses.
The offers to withhold court costs on each count, not because of the time we live in, but because it's the nature of the offense.
Because it's the right thing to do, Mr. Linder.
No, I mean, I made those
And the
offers
times we
10
live
years
in.
ago. Probably 10 years
All right, so, sir, the offers are withhold on each count, but they carry with it a lot of court costs, and I'll give you 180 days to pay those court costs. You understand that?
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that.
With 2, I believe it's 308 on a cannabis offense.
It's about 500 with the drug fees. It's about $500 on each.
Judge, now he did tell me he's homeless. Would the court consider giving him a year to pay?
I'll give him a year to pay. But I think if you were to visit Judge Hurley on a 4th charge like this, you might not get the same offer. We on the same page? All right?
Yes.
All right, very good. Mr. Carroll, raise your right hand. Do you swear or do you affirm that the testimony that you'll give this morning will be true? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Now, there are 3 separate counts, each one possession of cannabis. How do you wish to plead?
No contest.
Anybody forcing you or coercing you to enter a plea in any one of these 3 cases?
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you have any felonies pending?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, as a result of your plea this morning, it could affect your immigration status, including possible deportation?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the representation that the Office of the Public Defender has provided for you this morning?
Yes.
And counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis in each of these 3 cases?
Yes, Judge.
Court finds that Mr. Carroll is alert, he's intelligent, and he understands the nature of his charges. He understands the consequences of his plea. His plea has been freely, has been voluntarily entered. There's a factual basis to support a finding of guilt in each of the cases, and he's been supplied and he has received competent counsel. Withhold court costs of prosecution on each of the charges. You have 1 year to pay. Good luck, Mr. Carroll.
Good luck, sir.
You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this. We're going to close down the courtroom for a few minutes. Ask those of you who are not here for juvenile court to please leave, and we should be back up and running in about 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you. Thank you all very much for giving us that opportunity to hear that case. We do? All right, well, let's start then with Ms. Crow back at Paul Ryan. State, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right.
There you go.
All right, good morning, Ms. Crow. Your charge, this is an ad charge, 1 count of grand theft. The court reviewed the probable cause affidavit, and the court found probable cause. Bond is set at $1,000, and I wish you well. Thank you for your time. All right. Timothy Kylo. Yes.
He's approaching, Judge. He's here at Main.
Finding might be reflected in no bond, however,
I saw that. Okay. Thank you. This is an outstanding warrant for you, sir. This is out of the North Courthouse with Judge Hurley. A bond has been set at $1,000.
Judge, Mr. Kylo wishes to see if he can resolve this matter today.
State?
The documented offers adjudication, court costs, the credit for time served, no return to Hillsborough Square at 236 South Federal Highway in Deerfield Beach.
Do you understand the state's offer, sir?
Yes.
You wish to accept it?
I accept it.
Judge, and speaking Mr. Kylo, he wishes to accept the state's offer.
It's an adjudication of guilt. You understand that? It's not a withhold. It's an adjudication. It's a conviction. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kylo, please be kind enough to raise your right hand. Sir, do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony you'll give this morning will be true?
Yes, sir.
To the one count of trespass, how do you plead?
How do you plead, sir?
Guilty, not guilty.
Which one?
Contest.
Which one?
No contest.
No contest, all right? Anybody forcing you to plead no contest?
No.
This is what you want to do to resolve the case for today?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the representation that the Office of the Public Defender has given you?
Yes, sir.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you have any felonies pending?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, as a result of your plea this morning, it could alter, change in some way your right to be in the country or lead to your deportation?
Yes, sir.
And for the purpose of this morning's pleas, Mr. Romero, do you stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, I do, Judge.
Court finds that Mr. Kylo is alert, he's intelligent, and he understands the nature of his charges and the consequences of his plea. The plea has been freely, it's been voluntarily entered, and there's a factual basis to support a finding of guilt. On the one count, you're adjudicated guilty. There is to be no return, and the address, once again, state, was what, 340 South Federal Highway? Or was that a different address? What's the address?
236 South Federal Highway.
236 South Federal Highway. Adjudicated guilty, waive the fines, you'll pay court costs of prosecution, 180 days to pay, and I wish you well, sir. Thank you.
Hey, good luck, sir.
Thank you, good luck. Jorge Zavala.
Mr. Savala, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge, here on Main.
Good morning, sir. The court's review the probable cause affidavit as follows: one count of trespass, probable cause, and then the others are warrants for violation of probation, $500 each. I wish you well. Thank you, sir.
Judge, in speaking Mr. Vozala, I believe counts 2 and 3 are a violation of pretrial release. He wishes to see if the state has a plea offer for these matters here today.
Your Honor, I don't. Upon reviewing the case history, Judge Evans found, based on the stipulation of the parties, found Mr. Zavala incompetent on December 21st of last year.
Okay. Thank you, counsel.
Considering he has a court date tomorrow, nothing to add by the defense, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Bray, please.
Mr. Bray? Mr. Michael Bray? Bray? Mr. Bray? Come on up, sir. Judge Municipal Ordinance.
Good morning, Mr. Bray.
Top of the day to you, Judge.
Top of the day to you, Mr. Bray. 2 counts of open container. What do you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You want to bond out? You want to resolve them?
I would like to resolve them, sir.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear a firm testimony you'll give today is true? Yes? Now, how do you plead
Yes,
to
sir.
2 counts of open container in Coconut Creek? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Anybody forcing you or coercing you to do this, sir?
No, sir.
This is what you want to do to resolve the case. Now, you're without an attorney today. Is that okay?
That'll be fine.
All right. Are you on probation?
No, sir.
You understand that if you're not a citizen, this could affect your immigration status?
I am a citizen.
All right. The court finds you're alert, you're intelligent, you understand the nature of your charges, consequences of the plea. The plea has been freely, it's been voluntarily entered. There's a factual basis to support a finding of guilt, and there's been a knowing waiver of counsel. On each count, withhold court costs of prosecution. You're released. You have 180 days to take care of your financial obligations. Thank you.
Was that credit time to serve, sir?
Yes, sir. You take
Thank
care
you,
of it.
sir.
Damon Nicholas.
He's approaching, Judge.
Does the state have an offer on this?
Yes, sir.
What's the offer?
Documented offer from the state, adjudication, time served, court costs, no return to the Circle K at 1190 South State Road 7 in North Lauderdale.
Do you wish to accept the state's offer, sir? Yes. Judge, he does.
Raise your right hand, Mr. Nicholas. Do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony you'll give today is true?
Yes.
And how do you plead to the one count of trespass?
No contest.
You can put your hand down. Is anybody forcing you to do this today?
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you have any felonies pending?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen, this could affect your immigration status?
Yes.
And have you taken any substance that'll affect your ability to think clearly or voluntarily today?
No.
And are you satisfied with the limited representation that the Office of the Public Defender has provided for you today?
Yes.
Do you stipulate counsel to a factual basis for the purpose of the
I do, Judge.
Court finds that Mr. Nicholas is alert, he's intelligent, and he understands the nature of his charges. He understands the consequences of his plea. His plea has been freely, it's been voluntarily entered. There's a factual basis to support a finding of guilt, and there's been competent counsel. On the one count of trespass, withhold, you'll pay court costs, you'll pay costs of prosecution, and no return to, I had the address written down, here we go, 1190 South State Road 7 in North Lauderdale, and I wish you well.
Your Honor,
Yes,
this is pretrial.
Yes.
Mr. Zavala, I asked the deputies to bring him back into the courtroom. He had another case that he's on pretrial for in addition to the violation of pretrial warrants. It's case number 19001969 MM10A, possession of drug paraphernalia. They're requesting a revocation of his supervision.
bond is set at $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anastasios Kol Su Gulu.
He's here, President Main Judge.
Good morning. One count of petty theft, court finds probable cause. Bond is set at $100, and I wish you well, sir.
Judge, in speaking with this gentleman, he wishes to see if the state has a plea offer regarding this case.
Your Honor, I don't, because frankly, I can't really tell from these allegations if the property was recovered.
Okay. Bond is set at $100. Thank you. Lewis Cook.
Judge, if I may, and just speaking with this gentleman, he says there's no one that can afford to post his bond, and he's not in position to self-bond.
He's been living
Judge, I
here
don't know his
according to
prior
his,
record with.
well, according to his report here, he's lived in Florida for quite some time, 96 months. You don't have a friend or a family member that can post $100? No? You have a job?
No.
Where do you live?
Well, I was living with my girl, but
So have her bond you out.
Judge, at this time, he was living with his girl, so I can only assume he's no longer living there, and unfortunately, he's homeless, so he's financially indigent. He cannot afford to post bond. Would the court have an objection as far as releasing him on pretrial release on this nonviolent offense?
Does he have priors that I should be aware of?
From what I can tell, Your Honor, they're all low-level misdemeanors, no prior thefts.
When was the last one?
Trespass in 2018.
Any objection to an ROR?
No.
State has no objection. ROR. Good luck to you,
Your Honor, I
sir.
would ask that you order him no return to this Walmart.
No return to any Walmart in Broward County.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lewis Cook. Mr. Cook, good morning.
Come on, Mr. Cook.
One count of petty theft, probable cause. Second count of trespass, probable cause. Bond is set at $100, count one. $25, count two. And I wish you well, Mr. Cook.
Judge, Mr. Cook is asking if the state has a plea offer on this case.
Your Honor, I just have to check the status.
He had a
of one case.
co-defendant, a woman co-defendant, Miss Klinghammer.
Your Honor, again, the offer for Mr. Cook would be 3 days. The difference between him and his co-defendant, he has an extensive criminal history. 2017, possession of PVP. He pled a felony down to assault in 2016. Felony carrying concealed weapon, 2016. A strong arm robbery in 2010 that he served time in state prison. Armed burglary of a dwelling, 2010. Grand theft, 2010.
So, Mr. Cook, you're looking at an adjudication and more time in jail, or you can just bond out. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do, sir?
Well, I could get time served, huh?
Not getting
The
time
state's
served.
offers 3 days, sir, with credit for time served. Do you wish to accept the state's offer, or do you wish to bond out, sir?
I'll do 3 days.
Judge, I believe he wishes to accept the state's offer.
Understand, Mr. Cook, you're going to be adjudicated guilty on 2 misdemeanor counts, which is about a .4 should you have additional felony charges. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, Mr. Cook. Do you swear, do you affirm that the testimony you'll give this morning is true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cook, how do you plead a petty theft, and how do you plead a trespass that allegedly occurred on the 10th? That would be yesterday. At Aunt Molly's Discount Beverage. Anybody forcing you or coercing you to do this?
No,
You
sir.
can put your hand down. Are you on probation?
No, sir.
Any felonies pending?
No, sir.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, this could affect your immigration status, including deportation? All right,
Yes, sir.
and have you taken anything that affects your ability to think clearly or voluntarily?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis for the limited appearance today? Court finds that Mr. Cook is alert, he's intelligent, and he understands the nature of his charges, he understands the consequences of his plea. His plea has been freely, it's been voluntarily entered, there's a factual basis for a finding of guilt, and there's been competent counsel afforded to Mr. Cook. Count 1, adjudicate guilty on the petty theft. Count 2, adjudicate guilty on the trespass. There's to be no return for 1 year to Aunt Molly's Discount Beverages in Deerfield Beach. Wish you well, sir. Waive the fine, court cost of prosecution on count 1, waive costs on count 2. 180 days to pay. Good luck.
Your Honor, we have a Spanish interpreter here.
Very nice. And hello, Spanish interpreter. Good morning.
The gentleman that's going to